when grim reapers and kamikazes clashed. The Pacific skies were stained with smoke and blood in the final days of World War II. In a war of machines and men, fate still had its twisted sense of irony. Two warriors from opposite ends of morality and culture were set on a collision course. Captain Cole Maddox, call sign Reaper, was a seasoned American fighter pilot stationed aboard the USS Vengeance. Cold-eyed, steel-nerved, and merciless in the air, he had earned his moniker not just for the Reaper painted on his Hellcat's fuselage, but for his uncanny ability to survive. His squadron half-joked that death followed him, not the other way around. Thousands of miles away, in a coastal village near Osaka, Hiroshi Takeda was chosen by the Empire for an honor beyond life. He was 21, brilliant, and a reluctant participant in the Kamikaze Corps. His father, a fallen naval officer, had once taught him that a soldier's first duty was to live, to rebuild. But Hiroshi's mother bowed to the Emperor's call. "Die with honor," she whispered, pressing his father's katana into his hands before he left. Their fates were sealed when Hiroshi was assigned to Operation Kikusui, a massive wave of suicide attacks targeting Allied carriers. Maddox's squadron was assigned air cover over the same fleet. The skies above Okinawa were about to become a crucible. On April 12, 1945, the ocean roared beneath the chaos in the clouds. Maddox, patrolling with his wingman Harris, spotted the blip first, low, fast, and heading straight for the fleet. Contact. Single bogey. Bearing southeast. Too low for a bomber, Maddox reported. Could be kamikaze, Harris replied, voice tight. I'm going in. Cover me. The kamikaze pilot, Hiroshi, held the plane steady. He had painted a cherry blossom on his wingtip. His hands trembled as he reached the fleet's radar range. Yet a strange calm began to replace the fear. This is the moment. Maddox banked hard, diving toward the intruder. He came up on Hiroshi's 6. I've got him, Maddox murmured, lining up the shot. But then Hiroshi didn't evade. He didn't even react. The pilot was staring straight ahead, arms stiff. Maddox hesitated. A hesitation that cost lives in war. Take the shot, Reaper. Harris barked. But something froze in Maddox. He remembered a look, a similar one, from a German pilot he'd downed in '43. Eyes full of peace before death. Why aren't they fighting anymore? Hiroshi saw Maddox in his periphery. He whispered an apology, to his mother, to his father, to the faceless sailors he was about to kill, and surged ahead. The kamikaze streaked downward. Maddox followed, heart pounding. The USS Ticonderoga loomed ahead, defenseless. No. Maddox growled. He fired a warning burst. Still Hiroshi didn't flinch. And then, Maddox made a decision. He rammed the kamikaze from the side. Both planes spiraled in a flaming collision. The ocean swallowed them. Maddox awoke, choking on seawater, washed ashore on a nameless island. His leg was broken, his helmet gone, and blood clung to his brow. He crawled up the beach, leaving a crimson trail. Hours later, another body emerged from the surf. Hiroshi, barely conscious, dragged himself to a cluster of rocks. When their eyes met across the sand, neither moved. For several minutes, silence reigned. Maddox raised a fist-sized rock with shaking arms. Hiroshi's fingers curled around the hilt of the small blade he'd strapped to his thigh. But then, nothing. They collapsed, exhaustion winning over hatred. Enemies no more. Days passed. The island held no rescue, no signal, just time. Maddox built a fire. Hiroshi found a freshwater stream. Neither spoke for the first 3 days. On the 4th, Maddox tossed Hiroshi a piece of roasted crab. The next day, Hiroshi left medicine herbs by the fire. Then came language. Through broken English and charades, Hiroshi introduced himself. Maddox did the same. Over 2 weeks, the line between enemy and human blurred. Maddox told Hiroshi about his brother, killed at Pearl Harbor. Hiroshi told Maddox about his father, a man who died resisting the tide of blind loyalty. On the 20th day, Maddox asked, "Why didn't you fight back?" Hiroshi answered with a bitter smile. I wasn't trying to win. I was trying to disappear. On day 23, an American recon plane spotted the smoke from their fire. A patrol boat arrived. Maddox was carried aboard. As the Marines pointed their rifles at Hiroshi, Maddox stepped between them. He's with me, Maddox said. He's not the enemy anymore. The CO stared hard. You know what he is. I know who he is. After a tense silence, Hiroshi was taken into custody, but not executed. Maddox used every favor and connection to prevent Hiroshi's death. In the months that followed, he testified. The war ended. Japan surrendered. Hiroshi, through Maddox's word and his own honesty, avoided the noose. 5 years later, in a Tokyo cafe, two men sat across from one another. One wore a tailored suit. The other, a U.S. Air Force dress uniform. You were going to die that day, Maddox said, sipping his tea. You wanted to. Yes, Hiroshi replied. But fate had other plans. Maddox nodded. I didn't believe in fate. Until I met you. They stood. Maddox extended his hand. I stopped you because I saw a man. Not a weapon. Just a man. Hiroshi shook it, tears in his eyes. And I lived because an enemy saved me. Outside, the world moved on. Faster planes, bigger wars, new enemies. But two former warriors had found peace. Not through victory, but through understanding. Even in war, sometimes the most human choice is mercy. Would you like a dramatic narration-style script version or an animated scene breakdown of the story too?